friends, welcome back. I wanted to pop in and just do a brief overview on the law of attraction. I've done a couple of videos. If you're going to follow me here, you're going to hear me refer to the law of attraction a lot. And I thought, you probably should give some more information about the law of attraction and what that actually is. It is a concept that I live my entire existence by. It changed everything for me, from going from a person who was always dark, always negative, always in despair, to being someone that actually enjoys life and has found an oasis of peace and joy and happiness that I didn't know was available to me. And it was simply because I found that principle and began utilizing it in my life. So, what is the law of attraction? There are several laws that govern the universe. We are all familiar with the law of gravity. That's what holds us on the planet. But many of us were unaware. I know I was for a long time, but there are other laws that are governing the universe. And the law of attraction is one. It tends to kind of lean more towards spirituality, and that's probably why you don't hear a lot about it. We kind of come from a very traditional Protestant Episcopalian, and I'm generally speaking, just a very religious background that has kind of been what has shaped and governed our society. Catholic, I'll throw that in there. Just those really kind of rigid, staunch religious organizations. And they have kind of shaped who we have become as a society. And so the further out we get, as we evolve as a species, we now have wisdom and knowledge that is beyond what our forefathers had. And so they were translating the concepts of religious texts in the best way that they knew how, and they were interpreting it through the knowledge that they had at the time. But now we have further knowledge, and science is even catching up to this particular concept of the law of attraction, and that they are now studying things like quantum physics, and they are starting to verify quantumly that there is such a thing as a law of attraction. There's just a whole science behind it. So now that I've tried to give it a little bit more credibility in your eyes, let me talk about what it really is. So we live in a universe that is vibratory in nature. Every single thing on the planet has a certain resonance, and this even kind of trickles over into physics, from what I can barely recall at this age. Things like electrons and protons and neutrons, they had a certain energy that repelled and attracted. Think of it in terms of that. We as human beings kind of have that same structure, in that if the universe is vibratory in nature, and scientists have confirmed things like everything can be broken down into a mathematic equation. This table, my cup of tea, everything can be broken down in terms of mathematics and energy, if you will. And so we are vibration. Table's vibration. The tea in the cup is vibration. The cup is vibration. And so we all are emitting a particular resonance. And so law of attraction basically says that like attracts like. And I'm just really gonna kind of boil this down for everybody. So like is attracting like. If my vibration is at a particular resonance, then I'm gonna attract to me things that are of a similar resonance. So on the surface, that seems like that's not a big deal. But what happens when your resonance is negative? What happens when your resonance is in a lower vibration? When it's in a lower vibration, it's going to attract like things of lower vibration. Real easy concept. If my vibration is low, I'm going to attract things that are low vibration. If my vibration is high, I'm going to attract things that are of high vibration. So, well, what does all of that mean and why do I care, right? Basically, I'm going to explain it like this. There are things in our universe that are low in vibration, and I'm just going to try to give you some terms that will just register in your mind quickly so that you can follow what I'm saying. When I say something like a horror movie, there's a certain feeling that you get. When I say a word like murder, when I say a word like blasphemy, when I say a word like judgment, condemnation, anger, you can feel that, right? When I say words like love, peace, joy, compassion, understanding, faith, abundance, you can feel those also. Now, if you're like me, I can feel it here. The words are completely different. The resonance, the energy that they have, completely different. And so, if my vibration is low, I'm on the same wavelength to attract those negative things and things like the ones I just mentioned into my experience. If my vibration is high, I'm on the same wavelength to attract similar things into my experience. It is that simple. So, like is attracting like. When we were younger, the older people would refer to it as Murphy's Law. In other words, when it rains, it pours, I would hear people in my community say, meaning that basically they didn't know what they were saying. They were just translating the law of attraction, that if I'm in a negative state, once I'm down here, the hits are just going to keep coming. And if I'm negative, they're just going to keep finding their way to my experience. And so it looks like I get bad news on a phone call in the morning. And then I'm rushing to get dressed and I'm throwing things, and then I stub my toe. And then I ouch, and I put my coat on and I left. And then I got a flat tire or I got a ticket. Got through that, and then I got to work and found out that my boss had called me into his office. It just keeps rolling. Now, on the flip side, if your vibration is high, it looks like I got a great phone call in the morning. I went to Starbucks to get a cup of coffee, and the guy in front of me paid for my order. I got to work and found out that I had a phone call from a client that I had been trying to get a meeting with for several weeks. I got home and found out that my son had baked me a cake. I mean, it just keeps going good to good to good to good. You just keep attracting based on the level that you're at. It's that simple, guys. Like, if you could just understand that, I'm getting a little teary. Like, that is how much I want everybody to understand this. It took me a long time to get it. I come from the Christian tradition, love my faith, love everything that I learned. But baby, once I learned this, on top of that, everything changed for me. My entire view of life changed. And I realized I had the power to control my own experience simply by mastering that. Now, there's more to the process, and I'm going to talk about a lot of the stuff that I learned on my journey to get here, to get to peace, love, joy, happiness. There was a lot that went into that, but the biggest piece of the pie was simply the law of attraction. If you can master that, if you can master your vibratory state, if you can constantly be mindful of where you're at on the scale and constantly be shifting, constantly be trying to move yourself up, life is going to happen. We're human beings. The way that the universe is designed is such that we are constantly in an environment where things are going to happen so that we can learn and grow, and we are never going to get beyond that. We are never going to get to a place where we're not going to have to deal with something. But this is where the control comes in. When you learn to master your vibration, when you learn to master your mood, it's that simple. Vibration, if the terms are a little off-putting, when you learn to master your mood, you can control your entire existence based on that principle that like is attracting like. And so if you move throughout the world, and we'll just say you're in a low vibration, I'm just going to say you're in a state of bad, just for simplification. If you're in a state of bad, you're going to keep attracting more bad. I did it for years. You don't want that. If you are in a state of good, and if you're sending out good energy, and if you're kind, and if you're loving, if you're faithful, if you want what is best for other people, if you want what is good, if you practice gratitude, if you keep yourself as best as you can in a pure state, you're going to find that life starts unfolding for you at that level. And why wouldn't we all want that? So that's it in a nutshell. That is the law of attraction, that like attracts like. If you're negative, if you're unkind, if you're uncaring, if you're complaining, if you are fearful, you are resonating at a lower level. And if you're resonating at that lower level, you are now on the same wavelength as negative things. Bankruptcy, loss of job, car accident, accidents in general, burning food, missed promotions, unkind people, parking tickets, all of that stuff is on the same level with you. There is a little bit more to it as far as what you're plucking out of the pot and what you're attracting, but you don't even really need to know the details of it. You just need to know, get off of it, jump, leap, climb, get up here where all the good stuff is. And you do that simply by shifting. First, you have to recognize when you're there, and you do that by how you feel. If you're constantly checking in, what am I feeling? And it's subtle. It'll creep up on you when you are back down in a negative state before you didn't even realize it. You're complaining about something. You are fearful about something. But as soon as you recognize it, start moving yourself back up. I say at least get to a state of neutrality. And I talked about that in a previous video on karma. Try to get yourself at least to a state of neutrality. It's difficult to jump from negative all the way to positive sometimes, and for some people. But you can work your way up to neutrality. You can get to a place of, you know what, I got a speeding ticket, and instead of me just kicking rocks about it, I'm just gonna go on over here and call a friend and go have a drink and just get my mind off of it. You can get to a state of neutrality. You may not get to love and joy about the parking ticket, but you can shift your state, and any little bit is going to help. I guarantee it. The trick to it all is stay off the negative plane. As soon as you feel yourself there, as soon as you get the reminder, I'm not feeling well, you hear yourself complaining, or you get bad news, 2 calls in a row, begin to start to recognize, hey, I'm out of pocket here, and do whatever you can to get up. Call a friend, tell a joke, watch something funny, pet your cat, anything that, play your favorite song, play your favorite game, anything that you can do to shift yourself off of this up to this stops the process. So all that stuff was about to flood into your experience. It's at the low vibration. losing a wallet, losing a phone, on up to the big stuff, illness, muggings, all of that stuff. Do you want to get off of that plane as soon as you realize that you're on it and you want to get up here? And you do that by every day just trying to move through life in joy and peace and love and kindness. Pay for a stranger's meal if you have it. Pay for coffee. Donate $1. Tell someone how good they look in that dress. Just whatever you can to raise your vibration. Be positive. Find the good in everything. Practice gratitude. Write in your journal all the things that are going well for you. As you do that, your vibration is high, and whatever is low can't reach you. And up here is where love is, the great relationship is, clarity, the job, all the things that you want, great health. It's all up here. So, there you have it. In a nutshell, quick, down, dirty. Move through life as a positive being. Move through life as a positive being. In positivity, in love, in gratitude. Just be a good person. If you're a good person, life is going to unfold for you in a much, much better way. Thanks for listening.